What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, where we talk about any and everything. Personal, old snaps and claps. It's a dang good day to talk about a few things. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, and I am super excited to have both of my super guests on this evening. You guys, we got a double T here tonight. We got Miss Tiffany. What's up? Mississippi in the house. And we have Miss Tiffany Nicole.
What's up?
Texas.
What's up? Hey, y'all in the building.
Listen, we are surrounded because I'm from Arkansas. We got Texas and Mississippi. That's all the love we need.
The South
right
is
here.
where it's at. Come through dripping.
Yes. I'm excited to have both of you guys here. One, I wanted to do something different tonight because normally I do one interview at a time. So I wanted both of you guys here, and we're going to have a good conversation. Let's be open. Let's be honest. Let's have a great time, ladies, because I'm super excited, and I'm truly, truly blessed to have the both of you. Right here on the Morning Jam podcast is all about promoting, being inspired, uplifting, and motivating each and every one of us. It's not about me or you. It's about all of us growing together, supporting one another. And that's what it's all about. So, Miss Tiffany, I know that you are an independent artist. You are out here doing your thing, and you're loving the world, and I see you out here, sis. So let the world know, and the Morning Jam podcast fans know exactly, I already said Mississippi, but let them know where you're from and a little bit about who you are.
Well, my name is Miss Tiffany, and I am from Jackson, Mississippi. I'm Mississippi's first multi-award-winning Christian hip-hop artist, and I was the first ever solo female rap artist to receive a Stellar Award nomination. Many people know me as being featured on Empire. I was one of Shine's baby's mothers on Empire back in season 4. And I'm also an author. I'm a model, and you know, I do quite a bit. I do a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. That big hat that you have, sis, that you just out here doing your thing. So let us know a little bit about being on Empire. How was that for you?
That experience was crazy. Let me tell you, my mother called me during season 1 of Empire when the show first came out, and she said, you know, there's this show on Fox, and it's starring Terrence Howard and Taraji P. Henson. She was like, I think you should watch it. You would learn some stuff about the music industry. It may help you with your career. I was like, oh, okay. Wasn't big on watching television shows. I was really just really devout and fired out. I had really just started my ministry, you know, Christian hip hop at that time. And she was like, you should watch the show. And so episode came on that week. It came on the same day where Bible study, you know, I would be in Bible study. So it was like Wednesdays at 7, same exact time. So she called and she was like, did you watch Empire? I was like, no, I didn't get a chance to watch this week, you know. So next week comes, did you watch Empire? No, I didn't get a chance to watch this week. For like 3 weeks straight, she called me and was asking me about did I watch the show? And I was like, no, you know. So I said, I'm gonna watch on a Saturday, I'll watch on demand, and I'll binge watch, you know, the show. Right. So I watched like the first 3 episodes, and I fell in love with the storyline, and I had a premonition. Like, I saw myself standing on the stage with Taraji and Terrence.
Nice.
So I had this vision, and I called her on the phone. I called her up, and so we were on the phone. We talking about it like we're on the soaps, right? We're talking about the soaps. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be on there one day. And she was like, well, yeah, if you have faith and you believe, like, anything is possible. God can do, you know, the impossible. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I had one of those visions. Like I'm a prophetic dreamer and, you know, visionary. And I said, I saw myself in an open vision standing on the stage with him. And so 2 years later, in 2017, it was season 4. And I got a call from the owner of a casting agency in Chicago. And she said that some of the directors saw some pictures of me, and they wanted to know, you know, if I could come to Chicago and film and be one of Shine's baby's mothers. And
wow,
so that's how it happened. The crazy thing is, when I got there, one of the other baby's mothers, turns out her brother-in-law was the armor bearer at the church in Mississippi that I started the Christian hip hop ministry in.
Wow.
Right. It was,
That's
I mean, God was linking it up. So she's like, well, hey, if you come back, if they want us to come back for a second episode, you know, are you going to be able to come back? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come back. She said, well, don't worry about getting a hotel and car and everything. We can just Uber over together. You can stay with me and all of that. And she was such a blessing to me and all of that. Wow. And so they called back a few months later.
Yeah.
And that was when I was standing on the stage with Taraji and with Terrence. Then that last episode when they memorialized exhibits character shine.
Wow.
And in Club Leviticus. So it was wild.
I think that's so amazing how God can put the connections together.
Yeah.
It's so amazing when you have that connection. You meet somebody and then you see them again, be like, what? We working together now? This is amazing. I know that the positive flow, the good energy, the good vibe that we love, that flow. For me personally, I love when something happens and it happens good and it's flowing good and there's no negativity. Absolutely. I see that with you, sis. You are a positive ray of sunshine for me, and it's been a definitely inspiration. Like seriously.
Likewise,
yes,
I love your energy as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
So, Miss Tiffany Nicole, sis. Tell a little bit the peeps about you, sis, and a little bit where you're from.
Absolutely. Well, hey. I am your girl, your homie, your sister from around the way, Lady Tiffany Nicole. I am your spade partner. I do not let nary diamond or heart. Well, I keep the high spade. I just want y'all to know. The high joker. No, that's just me being funny, but I am around the way girl. I love God. I love people, and God has called me to be a kingdom media personality. I let my light so shine before men so that I can glorify my Father in heaven. And whatever red carpet I'm on, red carpet extraordinaire, I allow my light to shine, and I bring out the light in others so that people can see their light as well. And so red carpet extraordinaire, I am a radio show host of the Virtuous Hour with Lady Tiffany Nicole every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 9 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. And it's on the best radio station in the land, one I just so happen to own, Power Influence Radio, using the power of radio to make a kingdom influence around the globe. I just relocated to Atlanta. I've been here about a year. From Texas, born and raised Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm a Southern girl, yams, biscuits, and fried chicken. That's me.
Cornbread.
Keep it thick with a little cornbread, a splash of greens. Right. Collard, that is.
Yeah, collard greens. Don't
gotta be. Listen, but no, I just love God, love people, and love connections, and just amazing to hear, how God just put these things together. Here with another Tiffany. Right. That God is doing what he do. What's something about them, Tiffany? Do you know what our name means?
Manifestation of God. The presence of God, honey. I'm on it. So when they said another Tiffany was in the house, I already knew what God was on.
Up and through here. So what tripped me out about you saying what you're doing, because I'm over here tripping, because Charles Clark.
Come on.
That's my boy. Charles was your man's bodyguard on Empire. Yes. Absolutely. So I'm like, she know my boy Charles. Yep. So we got to take a picture and tag Charles and be like, bruh.
Listen, we're going to have that in the next room taking pictures. We're going to do
just amazing how God, like you said, does what he does.
That's right.
I told someone the other day as I was encouraging her is God plays chess. He's behind the scenes, moving parts. Changing things around, smooth behind the scenes. It's chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
And our faith, our trust in him, he just strategically does what he does. So thank you, Crystal, for having me here. The good old Facebook,
right?
Is connecting folks the right way. Facebook. Right way, if it could be a blessing and a curse. Yes. But I thank God, for allowing me to be here and excited to connect with you, ladies, and have a real conversation.
And I don't even remember how we met.
I have absolutely no clue.
I know it was through Facebook. I don't know.
And I hopped in and I was like, hey, I got something going on.
Hey, girl, I love this, like meeting like that, down to earth.
Me too.
Genuine.
I love it.
Yeah, everybody got time for that other stuff.
It's Southern bred, though. I don't think that everybody has that element or that thing that we have, and I think it's just Southern hospitality that we're able to connect and just have that down to earth, element that we can talk to anybody.
It's the genuine spirit of God, his love in all of us. And then I'm sorry, it's not it's just cool Tiffany's. Anybody anybody who named Tiffany got that fire, got that spark, got that manifestation of God or partial to Tiffany's. But no, it's really his spirit. Kindred spirit. The word of God does say that in the last days he's pouring out his spirit on his sons and daughters. And if your discernment is right and you're seeking his face, he is putting his people together. He's putting his daughters and his sons, kingdom-minded people, for such a time as this.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, what is this time? You'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, come on.
You'll see.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
loving it.
see.
You'll see.
I love, like, because for me, God is definitely, I've been like on this journey like since September of last year. And that is finding who Crystal is, what Crystal stands for, what her worth is, and where is she going? Yeah. What is your next move? And God has been ordering my steps,
Showing up and
like showing me
out.
the way. And even when people like speak negativity, it's like, oh, water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
It's not bothering me. It's even when it's with family, with those close friends that you thought that, hey, it's gonna have your back and be there for you and just check on you and be that. That's where I go hard.
You know what? When I was growing up, I thought that at this time in my life, that certain people, when I was younger, would absolutely be present in my life when it got to this level, and they're not. You know,
and they're
not. Yeah, but like you said, that's why I go hard. You know,
right? And that's what I want to talk about with the both of you, because y'all both are on a platform and on this journey that you guys or you ladies are going hard. I know Miss Tiffany and Tiffany Nicole, Lady Tiffany. I know that you guys are going hard, and like I said, this song, "Go Hard," you're gonna have to listen to it, sis.
Listen, obviously I need to get the MP3 and play it on Saturday morning show, boo, because I'm definitely
because it's like definitely putting those words in my ear, like, what? Now this
make
is
you get up and go.
Right. So I want to know where "Go Hard" come from, and then we're going to talk about what we're going hard for in our business, is what our day-to-day living. So tell us where "Go Hard," where it reside, where did it come up, where did it birth at?
Well, okay. So when I started out as a Christian hip hop artist, as a gospel rapper, I took notice to a few elements in the culture as it comes to female rappers and the style, the delivery, you know what I mean? And one thing I wanted to do was to make it a little bit softer, more glam, and make sure that femininity lived there and stayed there and was represented in my brand. Nothing wrong with bringing, having that hip hop element and look and, that part of the culture, within your look and within your representation. I want to stay true to that, but I also wanted to make sure that, that certain element was there and was glammed up. So even though my delivery was still hard, I would make sure that my appearance was totally different. So when people saw me, when I came into the room, they thought, she's a gospel singer. Never would have thought that the beat was going to drop and I was about to go hard, right? And so everybody would be blown, like their minds would be totally blown. And so when I released my, my first EP, and things just started to roll. Like, God had already showed me these dreams and had given me these instructions, and I just followed them. And he started to put me on these major platforms. People took notice to, who is this girl from Mississippi, that can rap, and she's in gospel. She's, beautiful, or whatever their perception was about me. They wanted to open the doors to me and give me an opportunity, which I really, truly appreciate and still appreciate to this day. And God continues to, allow that to happen. And so I was just like, you know what? After a while, I heard that some people had a few things to say that were doing some of the same things that I was doing, and probably were on the scene a couple of years before I made it on the scene. And I guess, so they were wondering maybe, how did she get a chance to do this? And we've been working towards that, whatever the case may be. And for me, to hear that was a little disheartening, because I thought we were gospel. I thought we were, Christians, right? You know what I mean? And we're women of faith, you know what I mean? And so we should be encouraging and supporting one another and uplifting one another. We see that we are already outnumbered, and it's a predominantly, male field. And so why don't we come together and, rise up and use our voices to, to show our strength together, instead of, having these little side conversations and stuff like that. And so I'm like, well, I don't want, even though I'm trying to be glam and pretty, don't get it twisted. I used to be a secular rapper too, just like you. And so for me, "Go Hard," I released it as a single after the EP and after, all these things were going. And I just said, well, let me just, for a second, showcase my lyricism, and just let people know that, hey, I'm not a welcome mat. You can't just walk over me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm nice, I'm sweet. You know, I love you with the love of the Lord, but at the same time, like, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, let me instead of asking these questions of other people and you won't come to me and ask them, I'll let you know in a song. And so I'll answer everything that I've heard that you've wanted to know.
Right.
I'll put it in a song, and I'll ask the questions in the song, and I'll even answer them there.
That's
what I
that's
did.
what I love about that
Hear
song.
this while we here? Because I'm
We can't.
interested.
It will not let me put it on YouTube if we play that song.
Okay.
Yes, it will not. So we
Copyright
cannot.
stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
Like she in there. She can't say, "Hey, y'all, on the song, y'all. Let her play it." But I feel
that's what I love about that song, because you are asking what they want to
I'm
know.
pretending to be them in the song.
And you're answering the question. You're answering their question. And I just love that.
Yeah.
And I love, like, am I even strong? And I cross my arm like, Lord, how do I get to this point? Like Tiffany, how do I get to this point to where I don't even care? It's a care, but
that's
don't
what I feel.
care.
I'm like,
You
look,
will.
they saying stuff, I don't care no more, but let me just write this song and let me be done with it. I'm not going to address anybody directly. Just let me just write the song and get it out of my spirit and encourage myself to continue to go hard no matter what people are saying, no matter what people think. I know what God called me to do. And, you know, if he put me in a certain place or position, then that's between me and him, and wherever he puts them, that's between him and them.
Yeah.
What can I do? You know what I mean?
So what about you? Have you been in that position where you had to really go hard, Tiffany, Nicole?
I've been going hard out the gate, boo.
Out the
No,
gate.
but my entire life I've had no choice but to go hard. I'm a stubborn woman for God. I believe what I believe. The hardest thing, you said you get to the point where you don't care. The hardest thing to do is to get delivered from people. People think it's drug addiction. People think it's alcohol. People think it's fornication, all those other things. No. It's delivering yourself from the thoughts of what people think about you. It's also delivering yourself from the wrong thoughts you think about yourself. And once you get delivered, for real, and know that the word of the Lord says that man looks on the outward appearance, but God looks at your heart.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say about me. It may have me feel a little bit because I may think highly of you, but people can only fake it so long.
Yeah.
People have a light that's shining, but it ain't the real light. Oh, the enemy is gonna come.
I agree with
That
you.
devil is gonna show himself up,
Yeah.
whether it be bitterness, jealousy, enviness, hateration, holleration in this dancery. It's gonna show up in people.
Right.
And when it show up, you just change your heart. That's the hardest thing, getting delivered from people, but then fighting to keep your motives and your intentions pure. I don't care what nobody do to Tiffany. I'm going to love you.
Amen.
I don't have no choice but to love you. God gave me the gift of love and faith. And sometimes it is frustrating because I forgive and I love, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because the Bible says he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies, you're either on the other side of the table
Come on.
or you on this
Oh, you
one.
watch, listen, you gonna see it.
You either on the other side or you sitting with me. We're either eating together or we passing the peas like we used to do.
Right.
So it's a mentality. I am for an audience of one. I love everybody and I don't mind collaborating. I believe collaborations trumps competition. We are the body of Christ, period. Whether we're in church or out here doing ministry, business, or whatever. No one can get anywhere alone. But you have to be willing to look at yourself in your heart
Yeah.
and decide that I'm not going to let Tiffany stop Tiffany from getting anywhere.
Right.
So if I got to love my enemies, do good to them who do evil to me, I'm going to do everything that God needs me to do. Because at the end of the day, I'm going hard for him anyway.
Right.
Come on.
Because when our eyes close,
Right.
I've got to hear him say, well done,
well
or wake me
done.
back up so I can get another week or two. If I don't hear well done, it's going to be a problem.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that's how I go hard. I know, everyone had something to do for me, but, it's, leaving my family was the hardest thing to do. And the what I thought would kill me, which was divorce from the love of my life, when I didn't die from that,
Jesus.
everybody else could kick rocks.
Come on.
Because I just knew I was going to die.
Come on.
That heartbreak, I don't know if anybody, women, we go through things, but that I thought I was going to die.
Wow.
Jesus.
And when I made it to this side, there's nothing. Nobody. I have my son.
Unstoppable, baby. Come on.
I got my grandson, and I got God. I got Jesus. And now I'm here. I love people. I'm like so outgoing. You know how hard it is to love to play spades and ain't got a spade part and nobody to play with out here? Like, my goodness. But this is where God placed me. And since I've been alone with him, he's molded me, shaped me. He's done some amazing things. Like you said, you're learning about you.
Yeah.
We're not learning about ourselves. We're learning him in us. And
I
we're
like
learning
that. Yeah.
him. We're learning him
Yeah.
in us. We're learning the real us and what he's been trying to get out of us. We're learning the real us. Kirk Franklin says, imagine me living free, trusting you totally. Finally, I can imagine me. That's how you go hard.
Girl, she just dropped the mic like it was straight hot.
That's how you go
I
hard.
love that.
Gonna make me run out of the studio.
Right,
I'm sorry.
right. So Miss Tiffany, so how did you come to a point where you were good with Miss Tiffany?
I had to realize that God had, just for the very thing that she just said, God on the inside of me, he created me to be just the way that he created me to be. And I had to accept that. And no matter what anybody else thought about it, and the opinions that they had. And, I think some family members may have had a hard time accepting the fact that, I'm back out here and I'm rapping again and I'm doing this music, and they don't quite understand the calling and the message, and, why am I doing this when I'm, 2 or 3 times educated, you know what I mean? And and they probably expected for me to go to law school and medical school, and do that traditional thing. And this is so unconventional, And I mean, that's just a part of me. It's not the totality of me, but I just accepted how God created me, and I'm still growing in it. I'm still learning it. You know what I mean? And I'm still embracing it. I'm still loving it, and I'm enjoying the ride. So yeah.
So I know for us being women, and we like to filter and keep things bundled up in our thoughts and our minds as women. So how did how do we handle to be able to have a conversation with you, Lady Tiffany? How do I come to you, be like, hey sis, I need to talk to you about something, without you being over here saying, Crystal, man, that girl ain't real. She ain't. She came to me.
You in my lane, sis.
She came to me with some mess. And now I got to figure out where to even go back now. What do I need? Then you over here, what do I need to say to this girl? How do we, I know we filter a lot of things as women, but how do we get to that? Yes.
It ain't fair.
The funny thing is, I am called to sisterhood. And, I have a nonprofit organization, Modern Proverbs Women, to uplift, support, and encourage women through mentorship while promoting sisterhood. And we just released our first anthology, Memoirs of a Modern Proverbs Woman, Becoming Virtuous and Victorious.
Okay.
And really, that book is some of my closest friends, where I know their story and I knew they were encouraging me and I've encouraged them. But their story wasn't my story to tell. When women learn what gossip is and how gossip tears down, they should stop it. Women can be so catty. Women can be so Jezebelish. Women can be, we could be Deborahs, we could be Jezebel, we could be Esther's, we could be Rahab's. There's so many women in the Bible that we could be. But we have a choice to make. So when it comes to sisterhood, I've made the decision that I wouldn't be who hurt me. I would be the exception. I don't care what.
Right.
When I say I know secrets, I know secrets.
Wow.
And when I say if someone comes to me about somebody else and we're mutual friends, seriously, it ain't a person that knows me personally within my inner circle that won't be able to tell you that I've said what someone did. I could get a confirmation of a situation that I've experienced, and God will, he gonna protect his own. It's called divine protection. So he's gonna let you know that the spirit that you experienced, that you was feeling with that particular sister or brother, it's called confirmation. But you don't have to reciprocate in the confirmation. Girl, that's what happened to me. Let me tell you what had happened. I choose to say, well, I guess we just got to pray for her. Well, I had some experiences with her, but you know what? Hurt people hurt people. I see it as something different. I choose to look at something differently, because at the end of the day, we don't know what that woman or man is going through in their journey to become. We don't know who hurt them to make them to feel discarded.
That's so true.
Everyone has a stony heart in some way, form, or fashion because of past experiences and hurt. So you don't know the past experiences that's causing them to be envious to you, hating for you, Unfortunately, the Bible does say the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So we're going to all experience some people that's been in this lane for years, and then God is favoring you to come back and run up and pass them. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
I apologize. Not for real, but take that up with God. Not me. I've done nothing to you. But when I experience it, I show love. I show grace. Why? Because I'm called to sisterhood. That's really my ministry, to show grace and show love. Paul says, I become all things to all men so that I may win some. I can't win you if I indulge in the conversation of tearing down my brother and sister.
That's awesome.
I can't win you. I can't share his light. I can't love you. I can't even give you a hug. Because then Saturday morning, you're going to come on the virtuals hour and be like, shoot, she had a conversation with me the other day about, oh, girl, this is shade for real. I'm real.
Right.
I'm 100%. But I'm going to tell you, I won't tear down my sister.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. But I can learn from and say, okay, so that's a confirmation. Because we all have those moments. But there's a way to do it in spiritual maturity. And not everybody's there yet. And it's okay.
Yeah, I love that. Great answer, girl. I like that. So, Miss Tiffany, I have something for you. Now, I have noticed that it took me some time to not panic in my silence. Has there ever been a time that you had to be like, oh my, it's too quiet, God. I need some type of noise. And in that noise, it could be anything. So what was it for you?
A moment of silence?
When God worked on you and okay, I need to be in this silence. So don't panic in this silence. So what was it for you? You can answer that however you like.
Yeah, I've had some moments where, I realized that they weren't, I guess I would say, as noisy, or there weren't as many things going on at the time. And I love those moments. I think one of the greatest of those moments had to be 2020, where God shut everybody down. He shut everything down. Everything was silent, in a way, where all of the activities and the festivities and the events and the plans and the scheduling and everything shut down. And we had to, take it in to the family, to the first ministry.
Yeah.
And so for me, there was a moment of silence. For everybody, for the world, for our families, for our communities, for the individual.
Yeah.
I had a chance to spend lots of time with my 3 children and really minister to them and nurture them and breakfast, lunch, and dinner them and gain weight with them and love on them and not, be so busy because they're, and away from them, they're at school, I'm at work, and then especially during the times when I have to travel and get on the road and I'm doing events and I'm constantly on the go and all of that stuff. And so I appreciate the moments of silence where there's not a lot going on. And doesn't mean that, God is not working and nothing is happening. He's repositioning. He's giving me rest. He's giving me a chance to rest in him. He's giving me a chance to rejuvenate and restore so that I can prepare for the next season. And I always, a lot of times, even before COVID, before 2020, I've been doing this since 2013. And in the fall is the time where I will take breaks like, and just spend time with my children, with my family. So I don't take many dates. I don't take, so I don't care, I don't care if nobody's ringing my phone or texting or emailing, stuff like that. Now, if someone does, I'm selective, but I'll take, certain things. But if a lot is not going on, I'm not hung up about it. And mind you, in Mississippi, gospel, rap, hip hop and stuff like that. And like, I've had a lot of traditional gospel platforms to bring me in and weave me into what they do now. And I appreciate that. But, as far as having just a set or a scene just for that, that's really kind of non-existent in the area. And so it's sometimes nothing is really popping off. I have to come places, I have to come to Atlanta, I have to go to Florida and in Texas, New York and California and places like that, to where the action is really. So for those moments where there's a moment of silence, and sometimes I create those moments myself with like, God, I'm just going to sit back. We're going to relax. And this time is for you. This time is for me. For me, I deserve that too. Yeah. This is for my kids. This is for my family. For me, that's planting seeds. And I know that a great harvest will come from that later on. And God is always, taking care of me, and I think it's because I intentionally make plans like that, to not do anything or to not, be on it as much. But I'm telling you, when it pops off, it really does. So
yeah, no hold bars, huh?
Yeah.
I know for me, you guys, ladies, I said guys, but y'all know what I'm talking. So for me, that panic, girl, I'm gonna tell y'all, I panicked in my silence because you, sis, you talked about divorce. I was married for 19 years. Ended up getting divorced, and I panicked in my silence. Yeah. I would run from being in my apartment. I would be over my sister's house. I will be anywhere besides in that silence of my apartment because I couldn't handle being alone, being by myself. And I ran from it. And I was like, God, I just need to be still. Learn how to listen to these thoughts. Great friends hollering at me, you need to sit down somewhere, stop running everywhere, why are you in the stores, why are you over here, go home. And I would just run from my silence.
I'm a homebody
girl.
I guess I'm wired a little different because I was the only child for 10 years, so. Silence is my forte. I love it.
Listen, it took me some time to get there because one, I was raised in a household with, I wouldn't say all 12 of us was there, but I'm number 11 out of 12 children. The home was packed. There was noise constantly, except for on Saturdays when Mom said, "Shut it down, TV's off, shut it up, and sit down somewhere." Yeah. And all the other days, girl, we were outside. I was used to being around the noise. Yeah. I was used to being around people that talked all the time like me, and I'm now have to get used to that silence. I have to get used to being okay.
I can't
let's
imagine.
chill.
Wow. Yeah, I understand totally where you're coming from.
Let's chill for a minute and just relax. I still have friends now say, you just need to relax. Just calm down, relax. And I'm just that fun, that energy, that type of energy. And that's what I grew up around, and that's what I'm used to. So it's taken some time for me to get, used to the silence and not panic in that silence.
You want to be a lifetime party girl? I'm just
never been, but
oh man,
I do like to dance.
Right,
I don't know how good I am, but
being my personality. I was, it's amazing to me how God took how I was back then and now flipped it a little bit because I'm still me, but for His glory. But I was the life of the party. I really was. I made, I remember the bootleg CDs with all the party jams on it. I sold those. $10 a pop. They was bag, But just sipping on one here. Let's see. I had the cuts, baby. I got the party jumping. But now I do it differently. Oh. And so when he said Atlanta and when I had no one here, that was weird. It was extremely weird. I went from marriage to living with someone. And my silence was not talking about what I was going through. Mm-hmm. I couldn't speak to anybody. I was divorced in December of 2018. No one knew I was divorced until 2020. Like people that knew us was like, where he at? Oh, he at work. He didn't make it this time. I wouldn't talk about it. First of all, I didn't know what God was doing, but I couldn't even communicate it.
Uh-huh.
And then it dawned on me, okay, this is my reality.
Right.
Let me get up from here. But for the longest, I was silent. So my silence was internally around a whole bunch of noise. So I bought this ring, and it actually is be still and know that I am God. And I have it on my ring finger. Because my story is I actually went from man to man to man. I've been married twice. This is my first time being single for real and whole. And God being my
That's a
husband.
blessing.
And when I was having a moment, like, wait a minute, when I'm single, it wasn't nothing for me. I had a man with a backup. You couldn't have told me. I was finna be. But he took me to Isaiah 55. And he said, I'm going to wipe away the shame of your youth. Your maker, I, the Lord, your maker will be your husband. I had never seen that before in my life.
Yeah.
And the tears, it's like I literally heard him speaking to me through the prophetic book of Isaiah of what he was going to be to me. I'm learning to be married to God, date God. You know, I'm enjoying myself. And I didn't realize how I changed and adjusted myself from one man to another man to fit my mom, to be a mom because I was a teenage mom. I had to be so many things other than who Tiffany is. So for the first time in my life, I'm authentically, unapologetically me.
That's good.
So being still and knowing he is God is chilling.
yeah.
Letting him choose my mate. Being hidden in Christ. Chilling out. Trusting him, praying, and this is my reminder to be still. Be still doesn't necessarily mean like doing nothing.
Right.
But it's calming your spirit. For you to know when we are being a faith walk is a blessing and a curse as well. Because though we're faithful and we believe God, we still got go-getters and feel like we got to do some stuff. And God would be like, I don't know that it would have worked the last time. He'd be like, sit down. Sit down, let me finish and let you do what you're going to do. I did my part. You do the rest. It's a calming of your spirit being still. And a peace that surpasses all understanding. And it takes time to get that because it's through our life's journeys and ups and downs that he teaches us when we could finish doing what we can do and then we exhaust ourselves.
Right.
And then when we finally sit down and be still and not 30, 45 minutes later be like, boom, you be like, you know what? I delayed myself 2 weeks. If I'd have just...
Right. Be still.
A lot of times we think we're doing something, but a lot of times we put in the car before the horse, then we got to go back and do the work over again.
Yeah.
So, are we really doing it,
Or
but
wasting time.
oh,
That's a
so
lot.
take this homework back.
It's
Do it over.
It is a journey. And there's times that we put ourselves into some... Y'all, I was working at Amazon all night. Back so toe up. And me not wanting to be still. In unemployment and got all the way out here. I'm like, God, you got me all the way out here and I done lost my job. What am I supposed to do? Y'all, he's taking care of me. And I went and got this job at Amazon. Yeah, when I say I was in there slanging, y'all know good and god doggone well, I am not supposed to be slanging no boxes.
No business slanging them
At
cardboard
no
boxes.
2, 3, 4 o'clock in the doggone morning.
Yeah.
Like, what I do that for?
We be in survival mode.
Yeah. That's
Really?
true.
And he
That's what the first
listen,
thing took in
that's
your mind.
that's all I know, And he allowed me to get out of it through his word. He showed me.
All right.
There's no temptation on the man. I will provide you a way of escape, and you will enjoy it. And he did just that.
Yeah, just that.
And got out of there, kept my unemployment. I was like, Lord, but shoot, let me go back and relax on this good old, because, again, my pride, and stuff, because there's things that need to be done with the radio station, stuff like that. But it was more than enough. And then he had seeds sown to me. Once I got back in the place of peace and stillness, it was a floodgate open for a season. And I was like, crazy girl. What you get out of this space for? But again, it's the journey and how he teaches us to be still. But once we learn that lesson, girl, I'll be like, shoot, I ain't moving.
Right. I love it. I love both of Tiffany's here. We brought the energy on the Morning Jam podcast, you guys. I'm so excited to have you. I have enjoyed both of you. I have enjoyed both of you. And this conversation is so good. So I'm not going to hold you guys. This is the last thing here. Okay. So I'm going to start with you, sweetheart, Miss Tiffany. Let the people know where they can find you, where they can connect with you, where they can get your music, how they can get you for an interview, and all of that.
The quickest way to engage with me, of course, is social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube at Official Miss Tiffany. That's Official Miss Tiffany is all together. It's OFFICIALMIZTIFFANY. And then, of course, I have a website, www.misstiffany.com. Awesome. And my music is on all digital distribution outlets, too.
Listen, y'all better go and make sure that y'all listen to Go Hard.
Go hard. Go home. Next level.
Absolutely.
I'm
gone. Yeah. That was it. Next level. I'm gone. I love that part.
Yeah.
I love when you hit that. I was like, yep. Next level. I'm gone. Bye, Arkansas. Peace.
Do you have butterflies around your name?
No.
Official Miss Tiffany. So is it MRS or MS Tiffany?
MIZ.
I'm gonna find you, girl. We can get that together later. But yeah, I got you.
And you, sweetheart.
I always spell it. People want to give me two Z's, MRS, MSS. I don't know.
That's all right. I definitely found you. So you, sweetheart, let the people know where they can connect with you. Get on your radio station.
Yes, I need y'all to pull out your cell phones, your Android and your Apple. Download Power Influence Radio. It is a microphone with some wings because we going hard. Amen. Amen. Download Power Influence Radio. It is a free app, 24 hours, 7 days a week encouragement. Power Influence Radio is using the power of radio to make a kingdom influence around the globe. You can find Power Influence Radio on Instagram as well as Facebook. To connect with me, I am Lady Tiffany Nicole. You can find me on the Virtuous Hour on Instagram, TheVirtuous Hour. You can also find me on Facebook as well, the Virtuous Hour. I go Facebook Live every Saturday morning on the Virtuous Hour, as well as the Power Influence Radio YouTube page that has all of my previous shows, as well as some upcoming shows that will be coming through on the platform as well. I'm excited about what God is doing. I've had such an amazing time here on the Morning Jam podcast. It really does feel good to sit in a different seat. I appreciate you, Crystal.
You're welcome. You're
Absolutely.
welcome. I appreciate you. Again, you guys, it is your sister and friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast. But we want to send out a huge, big old thank you to WadeWorksStudios right here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Woo!
Thank you, G Wade, the WadeWorksStudios. We appreciate you for all the love and support and the platform that you have placed us on. And listen, you can connect with him. I'm going to read it off the screen at WadeWorksStudios on Facebook, WadeWorksStudios 1 on IG, and WadeWorksStudios on Twitter. Y'all better go follow, connect. Listen, if you need a podcast place to come, studio right here at WadeWorksStudios in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you guys again. It's your sister and your friend Crystal Whitaker, and we are out. Bye, guys.
Hey.
If you enjoyed this podcast, tune in each week on thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.